Sometimes tragedy doesn't strike without warning. It creeps in slowly, hidden in disturbing behaviour, violent words and signs everyone overlooks. In January 2011, Jared Loughner posted bizarre paranoid videos on YouTube weeks before gunning down 6 people and leaving Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords fighting for her life. A decade later, in Plymouth, England, Jake Davison filled his own YouTube channel with rage, incel ideology and despair before carrying out the UK's deadliest mass shooting in over 10 years, killing 5, including a 3-year-old girl. In this video, we'll examine both cases and show some content from the actual YouTube videos they left behind. 2 men, 2 nations, and the same haunting question. How many warnings can be missed before lives are lost forever? At 10:10 AM on January 8th, 2011, a gunman walked up to Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords and shot her in the head at point-blank range. In just 19 seconds, 6 people were dead, 13 wounded, and a nation was left in shock. But Jared Loughner's path to that moment didn't start at the Safeway grocery store. It began months earlier with warning signs almost everyone missed. Jared Loughner's spiral into violence didn't come out of nowhere. The red flags were everywhere. In September 2010, Pima Community College suspended him for erratic, disruptive behaviour. His classmates and teachers alarmed at his repeated outbursts. The school told him he couldn't return without a mental health evaluation, but instead of seeking help, Loughner dropped out the following month. Around that same time, he turned to the internet to vent his paranoia. And this is where things get really unsettling. In October 2010, he created a YouTube channel called Class It Up 10, and over a few weeks, he uploaded 5 strange videos. There was no talking, no face on the camera, and just white text scrolling on a black screen. The messages ranted about government mind control, conspiracies, and claimed the US Constitution was being violated by the monetary system. In one video, he said people were being brainwashed and described his dreams as conscious dreaming, whatever that's supposed to mean. However, even before these videos, he had posted something even more disturbing under a different username, 2ploy. In that video, he filmed himself walking through the Pima Community College campus, calling it the biggest scam in America, and accusing the school of being illegal and committing genocide. Take a look at some of the following footage for yourself.
I'm in a terrible place. It's the school that I go to. This is my genocide school, where I'm going to be homeless because of the school. This is Pima Community College, one of the biggest scams in America. The students are so illiterate that it affects their daily lives.
And then 6 weeks before the massacre, he made a decision that would seal the fate of many at that Safeway grocery store. Loughner legally purchased a Glock semi-automatic handgun, the same weapon he would later use in one of Arizona's deadliest mass shootings. By December 2010, his online activity had taken a darker turn. On MySpace, he posted a cryptic message. I have this huge goal at the end of my life. 165 rounds fired in a minute. All of these warning signs had been leading to one horrific morning. January 8th, 2011, around 10:10 AM, Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords hosted a Congress on Your Corner event outside a Safeway grocery store in Tucson. A crowd had gathered to meet her when Loughner approached, pulled out his Glock, and shot Giffords in the head before unleashing fire on the crowd. In 19 seconds, he fired 31 rounds, killing 6 people, including US District Judge John Roll and 9-year-old Christina Taylor Greene. He wounded 13 others. As he tried to reload, brave bystanders tackled him to the ground and held him until police arrived. He was arrested at the scene. The attack shocked the country. Giffords was rushed into emergency surgery and listed in critical condition. 2 days later, on January 10th, the FBI revealed that they had found an envelope in Loughner's home with "I planned ahead," Giffords, and "My assassination" scrawled on it. Federal prosecutors quickly charged him with the attempted assassination of a member of Congress and a murder of federal employees. And when investigators dug into his online presence, what they uncovered was terrifying. In the days that followed, Loughner's YouTube channel became a focal point for investigators and the media. Though none of the videos mentioned Giffords, they were seen as a disturbing glimpse into his deteriorating mental state. One video, titled "Hello," warned viewers that they were being deceived by language and government manipulation. Another declared, "You don't have to accept the Federalist laws." By May 2011, a federal judge declared Loughner incompetent to stand trial, citing paranoid schizophrenia. He was transferred to a psychiatric facility for treatment. More than a year later, in August 2012, he was deemed competent and pleaded guilty to 19 charges. A plea deal let him avoid the death penalty in exchange for life in prison. On November 8, 2012, Jared Loughner was sentenced to 7 consecutive life terms, plus 140 years without parole. After sentencing, Gabrielle Gifford's husband, Mark Kelly, looked him in the eye and said, "You may have put a bullet through her head, but you haven't put a dent in her spirits." In the years that followed, Gabrielle Giffords resigned from Congress to focus on her recovery. She has gone on to become one of the country's leading voices for gun safety. The FBI's case file ran for nearly 3,000 pages, detailing Loughner's mental decline and obsession with political figures. One conclusion stood out. The mentally disturbed young man should never have had access to a gun. What do you think? Could this tragedy have been prevented? Or was it inevitable given the warning signs? On August 12, 2021, a 22-year-old man left his home in Plymouth, England, and committed the UK's worst mass shooting in over a decade. By the time it was over, 5 innocent people were dead, including a 3-year-old girl. But this tragedy didn't come out of nowhere. The warning signs were everywhere, online, at home, and even sitting in police files. Jake Davison was born in 1998. From an early age, he struggled with social isolation and mental health challenges. Diagnosed with autism and ADHD, he attended a special needs school and was often described as withdrawn, with a fixation on guns. His mother reportedly raised alarms in the months before the shooting, telling others that she was worried about his disturbing thoughts and obsessive behaviour. However, nothing was done. In 2017, Davison applied for a shotgun certificate. He disclosed his autism diagnosis, but despite concerns, police approved it. By January 2018, he was licensed to own a firearm for 5 years. And then came the decision that would later prove catastrophic. In 2021, after assaulting 2 teenagers at a skate park, police seized his shotgun and revoked his licence. But in July 2021, just weeks before the massacre, the licence was reinstated and the weapon returned to him. During this time, Davison ran a YouTube channel under the name Professor Waffle. His videos aligned with incel culture filled with nihilism, misogyny, and frustration over his lack of relationships. In this one clip, he called himself beaten down and defeated by life, and ranted about women.
But, you know, not to say that I hadn't had good times in my life, not to say I hadn't had good things happen here and there, but for the most part it's just been me against the world. It's just been me fighting an uphill battle with a big fucking rock on my back, you know, while I'm seeing motherfuckers that don't deserve half of anything. Now, They're getting a free ride to the top. But yeah, that's the point, I suppose. It's when you get beaten down by life, man, I hope I can regain it back. I really do, because I remember when I had that drive and I had that passion. I hope I can get it back.
All of these red flags were leading to one horrific August evening. At around 6:05 p.m. on August 12, 2021, Davison argued with his mother, Maxine. Reports say he grabbed her by the throat before fatally shooting her inside their home. He then stepped outside and shot 4 more people. 3-year-old Sophie Martin, her father, Lee Martin, a man who was walking his dog, Stephen Washington, and Kate Shepherd. 5 lives ended in minutes, and several others were injured during the spree. Police received emergency calls almost immediately. By 6:23 p.m, the rampage ended when Davison turned the shotgun on himself. Witnesses described him walking with a blank expression, the gun tucked under his chin, before he pulled the trigger. The inquest into the shooting ruled all 5 victims were unlawfully killed. It also slammed the firearms licensing system for what it called catastrophic failings. Despite the warning signs, his assault history, erratic behaviour and disturbing online content, the police didn't permanently revoke his licence. The jury condemned a dangerously unsafe culture within the local firearms licensing department. Investigators later said Davison's YouTube videos were the key to understanding his mindset. They painted a picture of a man spiralling into isolation, consumed by hatred, incel ideology, and a deadly obsession with guns. What do you think? Was this tragedy inevitable, or do you think it could have been prevented had the system acted sooner? 2 mass shootings, 2 digital trails of warning signs. Jared Loughner and Jake Davison left clues in plain sight, yet the system failed to stop them. These tragedies leave one haunting question. How many red flags have to be ignored before somebody steps in? And how many lives have to be lost before the system changes? Thanks for watching today's video, and if you want to explore more cases like this, consider subscribing. I cover a new crime story every week. Until then.